Hello everyone, welcome to another class on AutoCAD 2D. So today we'll be looking at three different tools. We'll be looking at the ellipse tool and the different methods you can draw ellipse. Then we'll be also looking at the construction line. We'll also be looking at the vision cloud. So I'm starting first with the ellipse tool or command. So in ellipse we have two major parts. We have the minor axis and the major axis. So for you to actually draw an ellipse, you must have at least two information: the minor axis and the major axis. So if you come to the draw panel here, and this is the ellipse. Okay, if you come to this place at the draw panel, and you see this command here, so this is the ellipse tool, and these are the different ways you can draw ellipse in AutoCAD, which is the center, the axis, and the elliptical arc. So we're starting with the center of the ellipse, which is this. So like I said earlier, that for you to draw the ellipse, you must know the minor axis and the major axis. So I'll be using 1000 mm as the major axis and 800 mm as the minor axis. So I'm be showing two different ways you can actually use the center to draw the ellipse. The first one is, if you look at the cursor, it says specify the center of the ellipse. So I click anywhere in the working area. Okay, then the second one says, look at the instruction, it says specify the endpoint of axis. So this, you can also be looking at this command line for an instruction. It said specify the endpoint of axis. So let me turn the octo mode on. So the major axis comes first, then the minor axis, or irrespective of the one you want to enter first. So it depends how you want to position your ellipse. So I'll be entering the major axis first and the minor axis second. And remember, the major axis is always bigger in value than the minor axis. So irrespective of the one you want to enter, how you identify the major axis and the minor axis is difference in value. So I will type on my keyboard, I will type 1000, enter, and if you check the command line also, it said specify other axis. So remember, this is major axis and the y-axis will be the minor axis. So I will type in 800. Like I said, that is what I will be using for the minor axis, and enter. And this is the ellipse we have actually constructed using the center. Okay, in another way you can do this, if actually you don't want to enter, but I think the entering option makes sense. Okay, so you can actually, okay, let me do that again actually, so that we actually grab what I did. Okay, come to this place, pick the center point, and you are asked to actually specify the center. So let's say I enter the minor axis first, so let me make it 800, enter, and it says specify the other axis. So I enter the major axis 1000, and we have this. So this is another orientation of the ellipse. Okay, let me use this one. I'll first create the length of the minor axis and the major axis. So the minor axis has a length of, from the center to the end point of the major axis is 1000. So if I want to start from end point to end point, that will be 2000. So I'm going to enter 2000. So that is from this end point to this end point of the major axis. So I'll do the same way for the minor axis. So this is it again, take it up 800. So from the end point to the end point is 1600. 1600. I put that in. So I've created the major and the minor axis. So using the center command, I come to this place as the center, specify the end point, specify the second end point, and you have created the ellipse using the center command. So that is it for that one. I'll be using this to explain other options. Let me copy this. Okay, I copy that. So if you come to this place, if you click this here, you see the axis and the end. So what this option is all about is you'll be asked to specify the end point of the ellipse. Okay, let's go. Maybe when we do that you understand better. So the instruction says specify axis endpoint of ellipse. So this is the first endpoint and this is the second endpoint of the major axis. Okay, then specify for this, sorry, specify. Okay, this is for this one, then wow. So that is using this command. You have to specify the axis of one, either the minor or the major axis, then you specify the end of the other axis. So let's do that again. I click on this. The instruction says specify axis endpoint of ellipse. So I'll specify this to this one here. Then it says specify other axis. So this is the other axis. If I click, once it comes to it snaps to the endpoint, I click, and that has been created. So this is the next way to draw an ellipse. So I think this is more beautiful than the other ones. Actually makes more sense than the other options. So these things might not actually make sense, but it will make sense later, because when you see a drawing and you could see one of these tools being used to draw that drawing, you begin to like actually what you are doing here. So what this class is all about is to teach you the tools that we will use to draw. So I'm taking everything step by step, so that when you see a drawing, you will be able to know which tool to use, and that is the aim of this class, or this classes actually. So this, I love this one compared to other options. So if you come to this place, you click on this. So it says specify you have to specify the endpoint of the minor and the major axis. So I click this also, and this. So this is just like the word say elliptical arc, like you want to make an arc, but it's an elliptical arc. So where do you want the arc to start? Let's say I want the arc to start from here. Okay, see, I can now make the ellipse to the extent I want it to be. So let's say I want it to stop here, and maybe this kind of ellipse we want, you can create it this way. Let's do that again. I think this is very beautiful and it will be very handy. Okay, let's do that again. Click on the elliptical arc, specify the endpoint. Okay, specify the endpoint. Then where do you want to start the arc? I want you to start here and end here. We have actually created an elliptical arc. Okay, so we'll move on to the construction line. So this, I'm not going to waste much time on this, but I'll just give you an insight of what this will be used for. You can come to this draw tool, and you see this tool here. This is the construction line, or you can type in the X line. You type XL and you see the X line, that is also the construction line. Or you come to this place and pick that. So once you pick that, you have options here. You have the vertical, the horizontal, the angle, the offset, and all that. So what this construction line is, the construction line actually extends to infinity. That is, once this line is on, it extends to the end of the screen. So you mostly use this when you want to actually draw the elevation or development of an object. So once I click this horizontal, this HOR means horizontal. That means I want the line to be horizontal. If I choose this vertical, it means I want the lines to be vertical. Then if I choose this angle, which angle do I want to rotate the line? So if I choose the horizontal line, I will type in H. I will type in H, and this, as you can see, this is actually the line. It extends to the end of the screen. So if I press XL to pop out, I'm asked to use the horizontal line I want. I type in H, enter. So these are horizontal lines. Actually, you can make more of it. Okay, then can make more of it. Escape. So if I want to make a vertical one, XL, enter. V for vertical, enter. And you see that this actually, you can actually make this. Okay, escape. Or maybe I want to orient it to a particular angle. Can then type in A for angle. Maybe I want it to be at an angle of 45 degrees. I will type in the angle 45, and I can actually have produced something like this. So this is the construction line. It's very handy when you want to draw elevation or development of an object. Okay, so I don't think there's much of this to talk about. It's only when you begin to draw elevation for a civil engineer or development for any other drawing, this will be very handy. Okay, that is that for that. So the next one we'll be looking at is the revision cloud. What is this revision cloud is all about? This actually is not meant to be used to draw, let's say for an example, I am the chief engineer in charge of the drawings that will be used for a particular project. So, and I have other designers working with me, but I'm the superior. So whatever they are drawing have to be submitted to me. I have to cross check it before there will be any kind of approval for the drawing. So maybe after checking and I discover that there is some kind of error somewhere, so how do I actually mark down that place so that when the designer comes, I'll be able to show the designer where I have seen an error. So the revision cloud will help you to mark where the errors are for later visit. Okay, so let me actually use this for that. If you come to the drawing panel, you come to this place. This is the revision cloud. Another revision cloud, we have the rectangular ones, we have the polygon ones, and we have the freehand. So I'll be showing the three in whichever one you want to use. So let's start with the rectangular one. Okay, let's say the drawing was brought to me, and let's say this is the drawing, and when I'm checking, I discovered there is an error at this intersection point. Let's say I discovered there's an error at this intersection point. So how would I be able to mark it down so that when I'm talking to the designer, I'll be able to remember where I actually pointed out? So the best way is to use a revision cloud to mark that particular place for easy identification. So if I come to this place, this is it here, I choose the rectangular revision cloud. Or if you don't want to come to this place, you can type in REVC on your keyboard and enter. See the same thing, and the three options are here: the rectangular, the polygon, and the freehand style. So I want to come to this place. I click on the rectangular one. So, and this is where I actually want to mark out where there's an error. When you come to the command line, you could see the arc length, the rectangular one, which is one I'm using, the polygon one, or the freehand style. So the arc length is okay. Let me just show you what the arc length is. So if I type in A, enter, it says specify the minimum arc length. Let's use 50. It says specify the maximum 100. So this is the area I want to point out. If I click on this, I have something like this. So this is the axe. This is the axe we are seeing. So this is the arc length you have to actually specify. So maybe when you want to use your own and you see that the arc lengths are not showing, you can actually use that to increase the arc length. Let's do that again. Come to this place, then A for the to specify arc length. Let's say you have an arc length of 0 and that of maximum to be 0, or let me reduce the arc length to 2, then reduce it to 5, specify. Okay, you could see that the arc lengths are not actually showing that much. It's still there, but it is not actually visible. So the best thing you could do is, if you encounter this kind of problem, the best thing to do is to increase the arc length. So I will increase it to 50, 100, and click, and this is the revision cloud. So when I call on to the designer, actually I can pinpoint where the error is, and the designer also will be able to know where the errors are. So that is the use of the revision cloud. Okay, next, the same thing is if you want that to be this is the shape of a rectangle and this is for polygon, so depends on what you want. So let's move on to the freehand. The arc length is already specified 150 by 100. Then I want this area, so I will just click somewhere and I can actually draw around where I want to. I want some adjustment in the drawing, so that's what I love. The freehand is more beautiful than the other ones, so I can actually draw this here. So, and that is all about the revision cloud. So thank you for watching. In case of any question, drop in the comment section. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit the notification button so that when I upload new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Click the like button so that YouTube will recommend the video. Thank you and have a nice day.